Good day, folks, and I do hope you're having a good day. I've got a wonderful horn here. It is the oldest Strad that I've had. It's not really old as far as that goes. The late 50s or perhaps 1960. So it is definitely a Mount Vernon. It is a medium bore, and we'll try and go over the details in just a moment. I'm going to try and get it right to playing. Then I've got a relatively early Elkhart. It's got the corporation bell. Strangely enough, large bore, medium bore. Go small, go large, or go home. I've only had one medium bore before, and that's the first large bore that I've had. Enjoy playing both of them very much. I'm very surprised. This is 2 ounces, 2.1 ounces heavier, the Mount Vernon is, than the earlier Elkhart. Okay, we'll get into playing. I'm going to use a soundtrack. I was actually trying to force myself to see how I was doing intonation-wise, and this is one of the easiest ways to do that. Beautiful soundtrack. Say the Name is the name of it. Okay, a few things that I did want to mention I thought was very interesting. I think I mentioned it is heavier by 2 ounces, which is noticeable in the hand, than the earlier Elkhart. The Elkhart is from actually like 71, but Bach produces mostly 37 bells. So you've still got some 25 bells like this one, some 43s, some 72s that are corporation bells long after the earlier 37s had gone to an Elkhart bell. Now, another thing that I was really surprised about, the rim on this bell is quite broad. Oh, I don't want to knock my picture off, but that is a long, thin wrap for the edge of the bell. And you can see in comparison, this corporation bell, quite slender and circular. So everything affects everything when it comes to trumpet sound. Now, the other thing that's interesting is I've got several aftermarket tuning slides made for medium large bore horns. They work in both the medium Mount Vernon Strad, and they work in the large bore Elkhart model. And the reason is because when Bach made the large bore, he only enlarged or changed the bore size right in the valve block. Now, then you'd say, well, can you switch the first slide and the second slide and the third slide? No, you can't. Another interesting fact is that for the medium bore horns, he used lightweight tubing. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Not in the tuning slide, but apparently here in the valve slides. So, my aftermarket tuning slides, which are made for medium large bore, wonderful slides. I've got several of them, which I need to do a video of their own on. I've got a copper one. I've got a nickel silver. I've got an elongated or oval brass. It's really interesting. Some of them affect different horns more than others. But at any rate, just so interesting, the difference in sound between these horns. The Mount Vernon actually has a very powerful sound, seems a little more powerful than this large bore. Another thing is, this large bore has had a good amount of bell work on it. In fact, I have a friend, Colin Davidson. Thank you so much. It wasn't the worst mangled, it wasn't a huge creases or anything like that, but a lot of fairly poorly repaired bell work, and Colin was able to save this thing from at least physical ugliness, and it's been a pleasure. Meanwhile, this Mount Vernon from the late 50s, no repair work done. When you set the bell down, it is as flat as can be. It looks like there might have been a little something, a little ding here that was addressed, but the bell flare is sterling with the original lacquer complete. Okay, now we're going to play the large bore 25 bell. I don't know what the bell is on the Mount Vernon. They didn't mark it. He had a request in, but I believe the fellow that handled those requests has left the building. So we're unsure what it is. Perhaps a 38. It certainly is not a 25. And another interesting thing, although this is a large bore, so it's going to be large in here, when Bach planned this out, he gave the tightest bell, which is the 25, the tightest flare here, to the large bore so that there would still be balance. So you've got your choke essentially is at a different point, although I don't feel either one of these to be very choky. Okay, we will get right back to playing and see how it goes with the large bore 25 bell, Corporation bell from Elkhart. All right, so here we've got the large bore, played a moment ago, the Mount Vernon. Of course, the most obvious difference is the stop rod on the Mount Vernon is mounted in reverse. Always found that to be so interesting. And frankly, I like it. I really think I like that reverse stop rod where it comes in towards the horn. I think I prefer the way that that feels. Not that it's a huge deal. All right, folks, thoughts, comments, we're welcome to everything. And to that dear fellow that messaged me a few days ago on one of my better vids, some of them are a little rough. You know, always a challenge to get the sound just right. But on what I consider to be one of my better vids, he said, Jonathan, I think you should quit making reviews. And I said, well, Alex, I've checked your reviews and you're playing, and actually you don't have any. So man up, put some up, and get on with life. But at any rate, always a pleasure. Comments, thoughts, and as I generally say when ending, take care of yourself and someone near.